all the non-believers. How did that? To all the non-believers, especially you, Tom Jackson. Way to have our back, Keyshawn. Anybody can be beat.
Hey guys, welcome back to Jets Fuel. Today I'll be giving you a quick preview of this Week 14 matchup, divisional matchup between the Dolphins and the New York Jets. This is that game where the Jets are going to be highlighting these fucking rivalry uniforms. I'm still unsure what color they exactly are. So, people say they're dark green or black. I don't know what the hell they are, but they look pretty cool to me. So, but don't go out and buy them. Don't buy anything until this fucking team can actually show us that they're capable of putting together a winning season. Side note, before we get into this preview video and I give you my key points for a Jets victory, I don't know if you guys saw last week, that Jets game, that stadium was completely empty. I don't know. I mean, a round of applause to the Jet fans putting their foot down and saying enough is enough. But I saw that, and I saw a video of a guy walking through, I don't know, section 300 or whatever. He showed a whole video. That shit was empty, man. And I hope that fucking spoke volumes to Woody Johnson and the rest of the organization. Pretty much letting them know that we're not going to be putting up with this fucking garbage, subpar garbage for much longer. But let's get back into some positive stuff and let's talk Jets versus Dolphins for this Week 14 matchup. Obviously, everybody knows this is our second meeting with the Dolphins of the year. Week 4, we lost to them. I think it was 27-21. And that's when the Dolphins were at full strength, in regards to having all their playmakers out there. And we saw pretty much speed kills. And if you watched my preview video for that game, I warned Jet fans that, going into that game, it was looking like there was a possibility for the Jets to pull off that victory. But listen, they have tons of speed out there, and they still have tons of speed despite Tyreek Hill not being in the lineup anymore. But yeah, we ended up losing that Week 4 matchup, and the storyline has been pretty much in this second half of the season. Both of our teams, the Dolphins and the Jets, have shown improvement. Talking about the Jets, we started 0-7, but we've won the last 3 out of our 5 games. So you see some growth from our young players, from our young coaching staff. So some signs of for hopefully good things to come. Our general manager Darren Muji has been showing that he can bring in some good quality players via trade, whatever ways he can. He's been proving that he's willing and able to make these deals and bring in good quality young players that maybe we could build and develop on. So like I said, Jets started 0-7, but we've won the last 3 out of our 5 games, which is ultimately fucking up our draft fucking position. But listen, I'd rather see some Jet wins or competitive games than just see, all-out garbage like we've been accustomed to. Dolphins, the same thing. First half of the season, they struggled just like our Jets. And, they lost some key players, like I just mentioned before, Tyreek Hill. But, yeah, the Dolphins right now are 5-7. They're in 3rd place in the AFC East. I don't know, if there's a possibility for them to make a run at that wild card spot, just considering who we have in our division and their schedule and the way, honestly, how Tua has been playing. So, yeah, but they've won their last 3 straight games and they've won their last 4 out of 5. So the Dolphins are just like the Jets in the second half of the season have been showing some significant improvement. And listen, the Jets need to get it done. We've lost our last 8 of 10 games to the Dolphins, and this is a game where I really feel like we can capitalize on the things I'll mention, but also, it will be nice to see us get a divisional win, and listen, we need to find a way to get a division win. That's what it comes down to. And we have a couple more games left with the Dolphins. This week we got the Patriots, and then we got the Bills to finish off the season. So, listen, if we can get 3 more wins with those 3 teams, sign me up. I'll be happy. Call the whatever we can call this a successful end to the season and building momentum going into next season. So, without dragging this out too long, let's get into my 3 keys to victory for the Jets. First and foremost, this is the week where we're going to have to force some turnovers. And we have the perfect opponent to do that. Obviously, everybody knows the Jets are dead last, 32nd in the league. The turnover differential, we're minus 12 on the year. And we have 0 interceptions, which I don't even know how the fuck is that possible for a team at this point. And so I don't even want to get into that. But, yeah. Listen, Tua is struggling right now. He's struggling mightily these past 3 games. He's thrown for under 175 yards in his last 3 games. But more importantly, he leads. He's tied. I think he's tied, or he leads the league in interceptions. So guess what? This is a perfect week for the Jets to capitalize and get that first and second interceptions of the season. And this is the guy to do it. He folds under pressure. He does not like pressure, and obviously he doesn't like the cold weather. He is 0-7 in cold weather games, which I don't know what they define it exactly as, but in games 46 degrees or under, 46 degrees or under, he's 0-7. So hopefully we can make that 0-8. I think Sunday's forecast I looked at is supposed to be like a high of 40 degrees, and everybody knows, MetLife is going to be fucking windy and cold and miserable. So hopefully that helps and benefits us. But ultimately, it's going to come down to our pass rush, applying pressure on him, containing him, not letting him beat us with his feet, because even though he's primarily a pocket passer, this guy can use his legs. He has the ability to move. And he does have the weapons out there to put together a good game. You have to recognize their running back, Achane, man. He is over this last, I don't know, 3 or 4 games, like he is just putting up crazy numbers. That you could see a shift in their offense where it was once pass heavy. Now they're primarily running the game. I guess due to Tua's poor play. So you've seen that in the last 3 games, David Achane, I think last week he rushed for 173 yards. The week before that and the week before that, so basically in the last 3 games, he's rushed for over 120 yards in those 3 games. And last week versus Saints, he had 173 yards. And we all know what he could do. We've seen him plenty of times. We know his abilities. A very good running back, running the ball and catching the ball out of the backfield. Incredible speed. He's just a playmaker, period. And obviously, on the outside, their guy Waddle is their primary target on the outside. Another guy that can blow the top off the defense, and just big explosive plays. So, and then that first meeting we had this year, you saw their tight end Waller have a couple of touchdowns. So these are all things that these are all players. They have playmakers out there, and they got speed out there, and that's one thing that's always hurt this Jets defense, especially this year. Well, it hurts NFL defenses, period. You can't account for speed. So it's going to be imperative that we do force these turnovers. I would love to see an interception. I was looking at the injury report. Our slot corner, Brownlee, he's going to be out. So obviously we don't have Sauce Gardner anymore via the trade. Side note, I've seen that it's just like a calf strain or something. I thought it was a lot worse than that, but hope he gets healthy. But yeah, they have the ability to push the ball down the field when need be. But you can damn well bet that they're gonna rely on rushing the football, and we all know why. The weakness of the Jets defense is our rush defense. even though we've been showing improvement in the second half of the season, looking at last week, you saw what Bijan Robinson did to us, and he put up some good yards. I think, I don't have the exact numbers, but in total, I think he had just under 200 scrimmage yards. So, yeah, running backs have been a problem for us this year. Can our defense step up and keep him in check? Sherwood and Williams, and our front seven have to come up and show up big. But primarily, my first point is we need to force turnovers, and this is the best candidate to force that first interception for us this year. We're gonna have to apply pressure on him. He doesn't like pressure. Obviously, he's not having the best throwing season he's had. So this is a recipe for us to get that first interception, second interception. If not, we force some turnovers, punching the ball out. Whatever we got to do, that's going to give us the edge. It's going to be a tight game ultimately, and these are little things that could put us over the edge and get us that fourth victory of the season. So point number 2, and this is a reoccurring theme here on Jetsfield, is establish the run, pound the rock. Their defense, their weakness, vice versa to ours, similar to ours, is their rush defense. They're not ranked that. What the fuck are they ranked at? They're ranked number 29th in the league. And they're allowing just over 137 yards a game. So look, they have shown improvement over these past 5 or 6 weeks in their rush defense. But that's our path to victory. I say it time and time again. Breece Hall's got the majority of the ball's got to be in his hands. The majority of the game, we got to force the ball to him and let him do what he needs to do. And I'm looking for him to have a breakout game, because let's be honest, he is our focal point outside of when we had Garrett Wilson in the lineup, but he hasn't had so many big games this year. He's been pretty much stifled, all season long, even though he's having a somewhat productive year. I need him to have another breakout performance like he had in like week 8. I don't know if you guys remember that game versus the Bengals, where he had 135, 140 yards of rushing, and he had the 2 touchdowns where he literally just put the team on his back and carried us to victory. So I want to see another breakout performance from him. We have the ability to do it. We're facing a Dolphins ranked defense that's ranked number 29th in the league. That's their weakness. And we have to attack their weakness. Our strength, we're ranked number 7th in the league in our rushing attack. That's our strength. Strength versus weakness. We have to go after them. We have to pound the rock and beat them into submission. Listen, it's going to be cold and nasty out there. We know these Miami dudes ain't built for this. So let's show them what the Northeast is all about. Let's pound the rock, control the football, control the time of possession. Keep their offense and their playmakers off the field, because ultimately they're a one-strike offense. They can blow the top off of the defense with Waddle and with HN, and they can create those big things. But if we can control the game in the trenches, in the time of possession, we can find ourselves getting our 4th victory of the season. So like I said, I'm looking for Breece Hall to have a big standout game in these fucking rivalry uniforms, and Isaiah Davis to contribute, and I'm even looking to see if they get creative. Our offense coordinator gets creative and maybe design some fucking runs for Tyrod Taylor or glorified running back RB3 fucking Justin Fields. Put his ass out there and let him fucking run all over the place. But we have to also be mindful, like I said before, the Miami Dolphins rush defense has been showing improvement over these last 5-6 weeks. They have some good players up front. Guys that stand out to me is their interior linebacker Brooks. I think he's leading the team in tackles right now. Very solid in stuffing the run. He's going to be essential for them to stopping Breece Hall and company. And then their defensive tackle Seiler, very good, in rush defense and rushing the passer as well. And then you have on the outside you have what's the fuck is the guy's name? The outside linebacker Chubb, which is everybody knows I think he's leading their team in sacks this year, and just great coming off the edge and against the run. Of course they have their safety Fitzpatrick back there, which is he's excellent in the back end. So pound the rock, establish the run, beat him into submission, control the clock. This is Jets football 101. We know that's where our strength lies. Let's go after their weakness, and see if that could produce us another win for the season, get us our first win in the division. Point number 3, last point, and this is something that I've been mentioning a lot this year, which I wasn't expecting to, but our special teams need to remain dominant. Listen, we have one of, if not the best special teams group in the NFL. I would say it's probably we are the best, and it's benefited us in our 3 wins this year. So guys like Nick Folk Hero, look what he did last week, won us in that last minute field goal. He's right under 97% for the career wise for his field goals. So he's going to be a big part of our offense come Sunday. And then obviously our punter McNamara. He made a AFC Special Teams Player of the Month for the month of November. He's been spot on with his punts, pinning these guys deep in their territory. And listen, it's going to be a time possession and field position battle with these two teams. So a guy like McNamara is going to be invaluable, and we need to have him have another good game. Our kick returner Nguanu. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but it sounds right from what it looks like. But he leads the NFL in the average kickoff return. So we've seen how dynamic he could be, and his running mate, the punt returner Isiah Williams, fantastic pickup. Has 3. I don't know if he has 3 touchdowns on the year already, or 2, something like that. Our special teams have 3 touchdowns on the season, so. These are guys that can really impact the game, especially in a close game. Field position is going to be everything. Flipping field position is going to be very important, and our punt returner and our kick returner are going to be tasked to do that job, and I feel like they'll be able to do that effectively because they've done it all year. So ultimately, I'm calling for a Jets victory. I know I called it last week. If you guys watched. And I was pretty close in terms of my score. I did call for the Jets victory. I think the Dolphins are favored slightly against the Jets. But I'm calling for a Jets victory, and I'm calling for a 24-17 victory for the New York Jets. We'll get our 4th victory of the season, and we'll get our first victory within our division. And share your comments and thoughts on how you think the game will play out, and give me your predictions on scores and all that stuff. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and appreciate all the love and support. And as always, go Jets.